Hey, what's up everyone, and welcome to my long overdue review for the 498th James Bond film. That's right, that many, Spectre. That's right, 498th. We're getting close to 500. No, obviously, I'm just kidding. It's like the 24th James Bond film. I'm not sure. I think so. I could be wrong. It could be right. I'm not sure. Maybe 23rd. But I am a huge James Bond fan. I really enjoy pretty much all the movies, even the bad ones. I'm like, it's still fun. Like even like stuff like Die Another Day, which is not a very good film. It's still goofy enough where I'm just like, I'm sorry, it's still fun. The sword fight is awesome, and I'm sorry, I love the Invisible Car. I don't care. Maybe who's in that? Denise Richards. Maybe I could have done without Denise Richards. If that's her, I can't remember. I remember there was one really bad actress in that movie, but yeah, even the bad James Bond films I love. Moonraker, love it. I love that movie. It's so cheesy. Jaws is one of my favorite villains, though. And it's so good. And rest in peace, by the way. A moment of silence. Anyway, alright, so Spectre is a movie I was really looking forward to. I love Casino Royale. Probably my favorite James Bond film. And I really, really, really loved Skyfall as well. Very close to Casino Royale, in my opinion. Quantum of Solace I enjoyed. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I enjoyed it when it first came out. I haven't seen it in quite a long time, but I enjoyed it when it first came out. Didn't love it, but I liked it quite a bit. So anyway, here we go. Now we are talking about the brand new James Bond film that's almost a month old. Apologize again. And I'm going to tell you right here, because I'm not going to make this review very long or very structured or anything. It'll probably be long, but I'm not gonna try to make it long. I'm gonna tell you right here, Spectre is a movie I was really looking forward to, not just because it was James Bond, but because it was introducing Spectre, the organization that I guess, is this a spoiler? No, not really. That Blofeld, the guy that was like behind the curtains of a lot of the older films, like in the first like 3 James Bond films, you never really got to see Blofeld. He was always the guy where he was just kind of like in the background doing things, like kind of pulling strings. And of course he appears in that, what was it? You Only Live Twice, I think it was. He appears. It's been a very long time since I've seen a lot of these James Bond films, so I apologize if I'm wrong. I know a lot of people are going to say, "Oh, I thought you were a fan. How you don't know everything?" James Bond Blofeld, or Stavro Blofeld, but you even know his full name was Stavro Blofeld. No. I'm sure everybody's saying that now, but whatever. I apologize, but anyway. Spectre is a thing. It's an organization that's been in the James Bond series for a very long time. I was really looking forward to seeing what they do in a much more serious, more realistic telling of James Bond. And that's pretty much what the story is. James Bond trying to find out what this Spectre organization is. And there's not much else to the plot, really. It's not the most confusing plot. It's definitely not Quantum of Solace, where the plot was just like, what the fuck? Like, when I was watching that movie, I was like, it's a good plot, I guess, but what the fuck is going on? Like, I was a little confused in that movie. But this one, no, it's pretty straightforward. Like, Skyfall, it's straightforward. It's just, there's some betrayal, there's some little, I don't know, some action, I don't know, some love making. Ooh, yeah, that's right. There's some killing, there's some explosions. James Bond maybe gets a drink. Alcoholic beverage. He might drink a martini, maybe, and he pulls out a gun and shoots someone, and he might say shaken, not stirred. He might say it. I don't know though. So anyway, Spectre is a movie I quite enjoyed, even though I have some problems. Now, the movie itself is a lot of fun if you just turn your brain off, and that's sad that I have to say that now, because James Bond at this point has been, there's been like 20 other James Bond films which have been goofy, but at this point with Daniel Craig, they've been more realistic and less like goofy, which was fine with me. I didn't mind. And a lot of people said, "Oh, I was trying to do like Bourne Identity stuff," and I'm like, no, it definitely wasn't. It was still action packed and it was still entertaining, and it still felt like James Bond. I felt like Daniel Craig was the best James Bond interpretation we've had. Sorry, Sean Connery. Sorry, Timothy Dalton. Sorry, Roger Moore. Sorry, the other guy, George Lazenby, that played him like, what, one movie? Sorry. and Pierce Brosnan, of course. Sorry, but I think Daniel Craig is the best interpretation, and it still is confirmed here for me that he is. Like, there's just times where he just moves around cool. Like, he moves an arm. I'm like, whoa, that's freaking cool the way he moved his arm. Like, there's just things that he does that is just so cool. Like, I'm sorry, he's such a cool James Bond. There's a moment where a bad guy, like, grabs him and he says, "No, stop. You stay right there." And the way he said it, and just the way he said it, and the enemy actually doing that was so cool. It was one of the funniest and like most badass moments of this movie, and it had nothing to do with him but like punching someone or beating someone up or him having sex with a woman. You know, it had nothing to do with that. He just pointed a finger and said, "Don't do that. Stay right there." And it was one of the most badass moments of the movie. There's a lot of moments like that where you're just like, oh man, Daniel Craig is such a badass James Bond. And if for all the people that were complaining like in the last couple movies that he doesn't have sex anymore, what happened to all the times where he banged all the women? I mean, of course you never see it, but here he bangs. Let's just say he bangs. All right, he gets his bang on. So there you go. If you want to know if he gets his bang on, he gets his bang on. He gets it quite a bit. Well, twice. He almost gets 3, but action scene happens and it stops it, but which he causes, to be fair. So I guess he could have got his bang on and then did the action scene, but whatever. And that's the beginning of the movie for people that are confused. But the visual effects are great. I mean, there's not many scenes where you're like, oh man, there's so much special effects on the screen, it's like becoming too much or something. Most of it looked like it was practical, and if it wasn't, then it was very well done, very seamless, because it looked, for the most part, very, very practical. Like, there's a whole helicopter sequence in the beginning of the movie, which, by the way, the first 20 minutes is very exhilarating, very, very fun, and really enjoyable. And even the song, it's not as good as Skyfall's song, which was called Skyfall. This one's called Writings on the Wall. It's not as good, but it was still a decent little song. It was good. It was fine. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay. It was good. It wasn't as good as Skyfall, but maybe they should got someone else. They should have probably got Adele again. Like, I would have called up Adele. Hey, Adele, you want another Oscar? Come on by. Write us a song. Let the Spectre fall. Like, screw it. Just repeat the entire Skyfall song, except replace Skyfall with Spectre. When it crumbles, we will stand tall. It's the same song. It has nothing to do with Spectre at all, but I'd take it. But yeah, this new song's not that great. But the first 20 minutes is very exhilarating. There's a whole helicopter sequence where there's scenes where you get to tell that there's people actually outside of a helicopter. Like, they actually shot that. Now, if it was Daniel Craig, I couldn't tell, but I know he does a lot of his own stunts, so maybe. But you could tell they were actually fighting outside the helicopter. And then there's other sequences where it's up close and you could tell it's green screen. But for the most part, there's a lot of really awesome practical stuff in there. There's a whole fight scene between Dave Bautista and Daniel Craig halfway through the film that is so brutal, because it's straight up, Dave Bautista comes in and destroys Daniel Craig. Daniel Craig has like no chance. He's getting destroyed. He's getting wrecked through this train. And he's just like throwing him across rooms and stuff, and Daniel Craig's like, fuck, I thought I was cool. And then Dave Bautista's like smashing him against walls. So there's a lot of really exhilarating, very fun action scenes in this movie. Now, this is where this is where the problem comes in. Okay, Spectre, the organization that I really was looking forward to seeing in this, how it is set up in this film. And they do a decent job of setting it up at first, because you see Franz, you see him played by Christoph Waltz, the leader of Spectre, and you see him in the dark at first when James Bond's kind of spying on the Spectre meeting. You see it, and it's like, oh, it's really creepy. But then, of course, it has to do the obvious thing where they show him again and he's kind of jokey and stuff. And I'm just like, oh, come on, because the first time was very sinister, very creepy. And it's not that he's goofy, really. That was a bad choice of words. He wasn't really goofy. The main problem is that the first time you see him, like I said, it's very creepy. It's very in the shadows, and he's not saying much. And when he's saying something, it's very like whispery, kind of like, oh, James, I know you're out there, and stuff like it. You see that in the trailer where he's like, James, I know you're there, and he turns and he looks at him. That's really creepy. That was really, really creepy. But then the next time you see him, he's just like, hey, what's up? I'm here. I'm Franz. What's up? You want a coffee? You want a biscuit? Yeah. Here's a nice tailored suit for you. Like, I don't know. He wasn't goofy, but he just wasn't as effective as he could have been. Because the first time you see him, it's maybe a good like 40 minutes until you see him again. And then after that, you see him quite a bit after that. But he doesn't feel like the main bad guy, which I guess he is, but he's not the main bad guy. Again, I'm not gonna spoil anything, but I guess he's really technically main bad guy, but he's a side. I mean, he's a like a co-bad guy, co-main bad guy, I guess you could say, because there's someone else that's also the main bad guy, I guess you could say. But this movie, I don't know, like it really screwed up the Spectre stuff. I feel at least because everything else, like even the relationship between James Bond and the new girl in here, who is Leah Sadu, I think her name is Sudoku, I don't know, and she's really good in this. She was in Inglourious Bastards. She was probably my favorite part that wasn't the bastards in the movie. She was really good in that. And she's really good in this. And they have a really good relationship, even though I think Daniel Craig's almost twice her age, which is a little weird. But they have a really good relationship in this movie. And you never think like, oh, like they've just met each other. Like, how are they like falling for each other? But you never think that because they're really good actors and they do have really good chemistry. And if I have any complaint about those two, it's not really those two. It's more of her character, because her character, like for the last 20 minutes of the film, feels like she's just there. She's not really saying much or doing much at all. Like there's a point in the movie where her character has progressed. That's about it. Let's just have her in the background now, I feel. And that was a little weird. But besides that, I thought their relationship was good. The acting was great. I think the writing itself was pretty good for the most part. There was a lot of really funny, very clever moments in here. I love the Q and James Bond relationship. I thought that was really funny, and I thought that was great in Skyfall, and I thought it was really well built up in this. Ralph Fiennes is great. I really enjoyed this film, but the Spectre stuff really disappointed me, and I really wanted to see Franz as an awesome bad guy, and Christoph Waltz was the perfect casting choice for this character. And by the way, I knew it all along. If you see the film, you know what I'm talking about, most likely, maybe not. It involves the Franz character. I knew it. It was so obvious too. I mean, it's Spectre. Duh. So anyway, it's duh. Of course it's him. But anyway, I really enjoyed Spectre. I'm gonna give it a 33 out of 40. It's not the best one, but it's still a damn good movie. I really enjoyed it. Spectre is still a great film, and you should definitely go check it out. So there you go. That's my reviews for Spectre. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you. Until next time, goodbye.